Alrighty guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we are going to talk about how to transfer all of our data sets and data from one storage pool to another. Now, what got me to do this video is about 4 or 5 days ago, I created a brand new pool that's called Lake, and I had a pool called Tank, which actually was made up of the drives that are now productions, and I had all of these data sets that needed to be transferred off of productions or off of Tank into Lake. And I was trying to find what's the best way to do this, because in my case I had used up the majority of my 33 terabytes of space that was on Tank. I had about maybe 5-6 terabytes left, and FreeNAS was yelling at me, hey, you need to free up some space because you're using too much of the system. So I'm like, okay, fine, got to find a solution, right? So sure enough, we went ahead and we did find a solution. And our solution in this case was to buy some new drives and create a brand new pool. And part of that actually was because I did want to take those 6-8 terabyte drives that made up Tank before and put them to different use. I'm going to use them for some other productions archives and whatnot, active productions and some other stuff. So I went ahead and I got 11 12 terabyte Seagate Exos drives. They're the helium-filled drives, and they're not very different from actually the 8 terabyte drives, the 6-8 terabytes that are in the productions pool. I did, however, go with a RAID Z2 in Lake, and that still gave me about 80-90 terabytes, somewhere in there, 85-90 terabytes. So I want to show you how to do that transition, how to make that transfer happen. The 30 terabytes took about 48 hours in total to transfer, which was a little long. I was actually a little surprised, but it was very transparent. The system wasn't down. It didn't slow down the system. So in a production environment especially, it's very important that even though the transfer took time, it didn't take the system offline or noticeably slow down the system. All right, so let's get into this. I already deleted the pool and created a brand new one, and I named it Productions. Now what we're going to do today is we're going to transfer the temp media pool over to Productions. And I only have one data set, so it's, you're going to be like, well, how do we know it works for all of them? Well, I'm telling you that I just did it here for Lake. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So you're going to start out by going over here to Tasks, and you need to set up a periodic snapshot task. Now, even though we're only doing a one-timer, you got to set it up as a periodic. All right, it's going to ask you what your pool or data set is. So you're going to scroll through this list until you find the pool. Don't go for the sub-data set. You want the top. So I'm going to temp media. I'm going to set it for recursive because we want all of the child data sets to be captured. The snapshot life, I'm just going to set it for something crazy. Let's call it a year. Begin time is 0000, end is 23:59, interval 4 weeks. Because we're only doing this one-off, and then I'm going to unselect every day except for today. Now the reason I'm doing it this way is because depending on how much data you're transferring, could take a couple days. For example, the one that I just told you about took about 2 days. Doesn't matter if it does another snapshot in the meantime, but I don't want another snapshot until it's completed. So I'm going to hit save, and then I am going to go over to storage, snapshots, and we want to make sure that it's taken that snapshot. Now something to keep in mind, the steps I'm going to show you, once it has completed, so we just got to give it another minute. Once it's completed the transfer, if it's a pool and data sets that you're actively using, you're going to need to pull the system offline for about maybe half an hour. Depends on how much new data has been put on. Could be as little as 5 or 10 minutes, but you don't want any new data being put on. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do one more snapshot real quick just by adjusting the date of when the snapshots are done. You're going to come over here, make sure that you have your new snapshot, and you're going to have it do another replication. But I'll show you how to do the replication in just a minute. All right, so we have our, no, we don't. Temp_media. Why is it not here? Okay, well, wait for things not to go the way we planned. Edit. Today is a Friday, last time I checked. So, we shouldn't have that big of a problem getting our... All right, let's see what's going on here. Let's go back over to storage. Go back over to snapshots. Oh, here we go. Temp media was just created. All right, cool. See? Sometimes things work the way we want them to, sometimes they don't. Temp_media. Okay, cool. So there it is, right? And then what we're going to go ahead and do, now that we've got it, is we need to do replication tasks. All right, you do need your replication token for the receiving system. In this case, the receiving system is the sending system. So copy your replication token and hit add. Now, pool or data set is temp media. It's my only option because I only have one periodic snapshot task. All right, now the remote ZFS pool or data set is going to be productions. That it has to be the name of the data set that you just, or the name of the pool that you created. Okay, recursive replication, child data set snapshots, yeah. So we are going to set this recursively replicate option because we want all of the child data sets to be replicated over with snapshots. I'm going to turn compression to off because it's a local transfer. Compression is just not needed. Setup mode I am going to set to semi-automatic, and the host name I'm going to set as localhost. And remote auth token, is that a remote authentication token? Now keep in mind, if it was being sent off to a remote system, we would do this slightly different, and we would, instead of localhost, it would be the IP address, or if it's over the internet, it would be maybe a dynamic DNS address, and then you would insert the authentication token. You do have the option for HTTPS, but in this case, we don't need it. We're going to scan the SSH key, and then we're going to hit save if everything looks good. Alrighty, so everything looks good there. And now we're just going to give it a moment. These are replication task. Should be rolling along here in just a second. Now, when replication tasks are running in FreeNAS, you do get a little thing up here that likes to move around, and it can give you a little information. So we're going to wait until we get that. And then we're going to give it all the time it needs to make this replication, and then I'll come back afterward. And we'll chat some more. So yeah, everything looks fine. Okay, cool. So I'm going to refresh the page. Giving our system a little bit of time here. We did set everything correctly. Yeah? Productions. Yeah. Oh, there we go. See, the replication has started. Okay. So let's go ahead and click up here. It says sending. So we'll give it time. Now, if you go over here to pools, you're going to see that productions is already 2.6 gigabytes. Now, a little bit ago, it was like a couple hundred kilobytes, right? So you can see that it's already created like productions archive overflow. The datasets are already being created, okay? And this is a way of knowing that, hey, it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. And if we, so 2.69, I'm going to back over to snapshots, back over here to pools, and now we're already at 8.66 gigabytes. So it is in progress, all right? So we're going to give it time. Now, sometimes when you click on this little moving icon up here for replication, it just says sending at the bottom. Other times it'll tell you the percentage of which data set it's transferring. It'll tell you 12%, 15%, 18%, yada, yada, yada. In this case, it's just saying sending. That's just how FreeNAS wants to be right now. So we're going to go ahead and give it some time, and when it's done, we'll come back. So now we have returned to our workstation, and we see that the transfer has completed. The replication process is complete. It's not bouncing over here anymore, and we see that the size of the used space on our old pool is the same size as the used space on our productions pool, which is our new pool that we moved this data to. So we want to do two things now that we're done. One is we want to go over to replication tasks. And now, just to clarify one thing, if you did this on a, if your transfer out of pool was a pool that was actively in use during the transfer, now is a time when you want to prevent users from being able to access that pool. Best way to do that would be to go into your services and turn off AFP and SMB and NFS, FTP, any other services that allow for outside data syncing or anything like that, or rsync. Turn those off, and then what you would want to do is you would want to go ahead and go back over to the periodic snapshots, and you would want to get it to do another snapshot. Now, in a lot of cases with the amount of data, it's already going to be the next day by the time you are ready for that. And so what you can do is you can just simply set day of week to, like in my case, it would have been Saturday, boom, and take another snapshot, and then just go to replication and get it to replicate it again. You know, you can force the replications by just opening it, closing it, and hitting save again, and it'll start that replication task again because it sees there's something new to replicate. But in our case, the storage pool was not in use, so we don't need to do that. So what we're going to do is we are going to go into tasks and go to replication tasks, click on our dots and hit delete because we don't want it to do any more replicating. And then we're also going to go to our snapshots and delete that as well. So our snapshot task is canceled. And then we're going to go to storage, snapshots. And this is just something that I want to do. We're going to go to temp_media. And I'm going to delete those snapshots just because it's not something you need to do, especially if it's a drive that you're going to be pulling out. Like in my case, I'm going to unmount this temp media completely. And if you're going to unmount it, it really doesn't matter. But anyways, that is the conclusion of this video. And as always, please, if you liked this video, please smash that like button and please subscribe. I am trying to get the subscribers up on this channel so I can start making some more content. So please subscribe. We want to hit that 1,000 subscribers mark. So your help is greatly appreciated in getting there. If there's something you'd like to see covered in a future video, please let me know in the comments below. If I missed something, feel free to pop that in the comments below, and I hope this video helped you. Thank you.